Harvard University's professor of philosophy, Dr. Russell Edward Jones, gave an especially interesting lecture at the Muses Hellenic Cultural Center at Kimisis Theotokou Parish in Southampton, New York, with a focus on the teachings and messages of the School of Athens and in respect to the use of the dialectical method in the standards of ancient Greek scholars.
All of the formulas that we learn as Orthodox Christians, Jesus is fully God and fully man. The Trinity is three persons, one God. That vocabulary grew out of the rich Hellenic tradition of philosophy. So we wouldn't have been able to articulate what we know about God if we hadn't had the groundwork of the philosophers.
If there's anybody in the world who would say that philosophy is not something to be watched, it's not a spectator sport, but it's something to be engaged in together, it's Socrates and the people who were deeply influenced by Socrates, the other people who show up on that mosaic.
The topic, the School of Athens and the influences of Plato and Aristotle, wasn't chosen by chance. It was in fact chosen due to the replica of Raphael's famous artistic creation that hangs above the entrance of the lobby of the Muses, which reflects the School of Athens and the legendary philosophers of ancient Greece.
That mosaic is actually a copy of a fresco that appears in the Vatican by Raphael. And in the center of it is Aristotle and Plato. There is a great quote that says, "All the world's knowledge is but a footnote on Plato and Aristotle." So you see this in this mosaic. What we wanted to do is to bring in a Harvard professor, Dr. Jones, who's the world's expert on Aristotle and Plato and knows this fresco, this mosaic very well.
It's a replica of one of the most famous pieces of art in the world, which is a fresco that's in the Vatican. And one of the most interesting things about this piece of art is how it shows such a broad range of intellectual contributions that Greeks and people who were inspired by the Greeks made from 2,500 years ago on up for several hundred years after that.
In the center, we have Aristotle and we have Plato. And of course, Plato is pointing up to the heavens, Aristotle is looking down, and in that you see that paradigm that our speaker is going to be talking about tonight. There are two approaches, and how those two approaches have a creative tension that has informed so much of what we understand about the world today.
During his lecture, Dr. Jones used examples to illustrate the contended items of well-being, such as health, friendship, economic matters, and other components, and how they are not satisfactory in themselves, but have to be taken into consideration in accordance to their utility and their effectiveness.
Is it a good thing to be healthy? That might depend on what sorts of things we're doing with our healthy bodies, right? So if we're using our healthy bodies in ways that promote things that really are good in the end, then it looks like health is a really good thing. But if we're using our bodies in ways that are harmful to us or to those around us, then it looks like health is not such a good thing.
This event was sponsored by the parish's benefactor, Kula Janidis, who expressed her great love for Greek philosophy.
I never thought, as a child, I loved philosophy. I loved it with my heart and soul. And I never thought I would ever come to a beautiful place like this with these wonderful, lovely people.
We wanted it to be not only just for the Greek community, but for all of the community to celebrate what the great gift of Greece was to the Western world. We are the morning star of the Western world, and that's what we're trying to show here today.
We wouldn't have been able to articulate what we know about God if we hadn't had the groundwork of the philosophers allowing us to decipher between the divine and the human, so on and so forth.
I don't think Greeks in particular should. I actually think all of us, in many ways, should go back to the ancient Greek mentality. That's one of the things I'm going to try to say tonight, is that this would be beneficial for all of us to do.
In attendance were prominent Greeks, Greek Americans, and Philhellenes alike.